This is one of iRacing's originals, an incredible racetrack with incredible abilities to battle. A lot of modern sim racers have forgotten this place, but there is one thing that this circuit brings you. I'll race you to the oak tree and back, and we'll do it 19 times today. Welcome to round 5 of the Lotus 49 Championship here on iRacing. Welcome to Grand Prix Legends, and it's all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, race fans around the world. My name is Jake Sperry, and alongside me is Mick Claridge, a classics legend when it comes to iRacing. Mick, we're just about a minute away from the start. What are these drivers feeling after what was a very interesting qualifying?
Yeah, it was a very interesting qualifying. One guy to note, Bill Tyler, is right up there, Jake, today. We haven't seen anything of him this week at all. The guys are just going to be gridding up literally now, so we're going to head there and... yeah, great stuff. This is going to be a brilliant one. There's a lot of good guys here today. Fairly big grid, 32 cars, so let's see how they go.
Fairly big grid with a lot of incredible drivers out there on track. So this is going to be a battle. A lot of drivers out of position as well today when it came to qualifying. So that's what put a lot of people in a little bit of malaise in terms of what has gone on for them. But an incredible setup that they have going around. And this is going to be a tightrope circuit, Mick, because they're going to be dealing and tiptoeing around what is a circuit which does not forgive and forget. It is effectively America's green hell.
Oh, yeah, totally. This is the Nürburgring. Just a short version. Worth noting. I mean, the guys have really stuck it to themselves this season. You know, Belle Isle, Alton Park, and now the VIR. So, yeah, this is serious stuff. So, just watching Seb now. Nice start from Seb. Nice start from Bill Tyler as well. So, this is a tough part of the race, Jake. So tough to get the power down with the freezing cold tyres. And just looking at the weather quickly before we get underway properly, 74 Fahrenheit. So, yeah, it's a bit of a cold one today. So, guys are going to have to wait until they get these tyres warmed up nicely.
We'll bring you coverage as soon as we can, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologise for the slight delay in bringing you pictures of this 19-lap race here from VIR. But it is Sébastien Tixier, the number 2, who is out there in front, has not had a win so far this season. And arguably, Mick, by pure pace, he is the driver who has arguably deserved a victory, just hasn't found fortune so far.
Oh, absolutely. It's beginning to be a bit of a running joke on Discord how he hasn't won one yet. But yeah, he always sets the car up really loose. It always reminds me of Uwe Trengerade, the way that guy sets up. And yeah, Seb's always on the edge. So it's got a nice gap now. So yeah, we're going to be getting pictures real soon. Yeah, Seb's looked pretty good today.
He has looked pretty good today, and Uwe Trengerade is in this race at this current point in time after a lap's complete. Sébastien Tixier does have the lead in a sizable margin over the number 3, John Olsen, who is currently in second position. Bill Tyler has lost a position off the start. He is in third. Laus Olsen is in fourth. He's gained a position, and it's the 31 that's surprising many here today with how well qualifying went here, Mick. So Harrison in fifth.
Yeah, he's a guy that turned up at the start of the season and stuck it on pole. Sorry, he stuck it next to Teemu Vaskilampi at Motorsport, and it was a bit of a shock to me, to be honest with you. It was the first time I'd ever seen him. So yeah, and I've been slowly sort of like keeping my eye on this guy, carefully watching him, you know, and yeah, he's a top guy. He's a quick driver, you know. So yeah, he's a bit stuck in this little chain now, position 5 as we go through the S's here, and this is such a fast part of the track, Jake. And yeah, so Harrison is seriously got to watch it for the F2 Championship this season.
Yes, and it's going to be really interesting to see how he does in the F2 Championship overall. We've got a good battle as well for the just outside the top 5. Miro Hrashki is in 7th position. He's leading a train of Richard Watson, David Rossi, Gary Quellen's in there, Marcel Pfister, Neil Kemp, Jiri Vikstrom's there, Gary Ho, Yuanji Lin, and Yanne Lehmann. Yuanji Lin, number 1 on the car, could only qualify the car 21st overall, is up 6 positions, so we are just about ready to bring ourselves pictures of what's going on. But Yuanji Lin back down in 15th position right now. You'd say out of position at this point in time here, Mick?
Yeah, sometimes he's a lot further up the grid there, and sometimes he turns up and really puts some pace down. But you never know how much practice Janzi's done during the week, so I've not seen him this week at all. So maybe just having a fun day out today.
Well, there's your lead. 2.3 seconds, 1:46.5 from Sebastian Tixier there. Absolutely head and shoulders quicker as John Olsen has to look behind him at the rampaging group that's just behind him. And it is starting to close away for about 5th and 6th positions. So looks like 3, 2nd, 3rd and 4th are starting to break away here, Mick. But Tixier, look, he's just so poised and controlled with the way that he's driving. You need to be very confident with your limit of grip in a machine like this, because this comes from an era where downforce was a myth.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of downforce being a myth, just watch as he goes through the left hand and out over this curb on the right, four wheels in the air. When he's on the limit, I think he's actually taking this one a little bit easier than he can. To be honest with you, Jake, he really wants to win this one. I mean, like I say, it's been a bit of a thing that how long he's been driving the car now and hasn't won a broadcast race. So yeah, it's all to play for now. He's free. Oh, there's a car off. Looks. Oh, it's John Olsen. I was just about to say he's been so consistent this week.
And that would have been technical, because he would have gone straight on. That would have been the issue for him. He looked like he had a screen freeze or something, just went straight on through the S's, having no idea where he was on circuit compared to everybody else. That would have been really scary for John. He's kept the car going, that's crucial, but that has cost him what could have been a 2nd place today.
Yeah, Bill Tyler, I still have to say, can't believe his pace. He's just sort of turned up and stuck it on the first row of the grid, and away he's gone. I can't believe he's so quick today. He's just actually been nowhere in practice. Fastest lap for Seb there, 46.0. That's he can get down into the 45s easily here, Jake. And the gap's opening up, 4.2 seconds now. Look, and he's got to take it easy. I mean, Seb always sets this car up so loose, as I said earlier, and it's going to be tough. It's so easy to make a mistake here as well, isn't it? Especially down the end of the straight.
This is your battle for 2nd. Bill Tyler holding Laust Olsen, So Harrison and Hervé Trengaret just behind. We did note that Gary Quellin had run off the road at the roller coaster section. That's why he's now back down into 13th place at this moment. But So Harrison is the most likely to make a move here on Laust Olsen in the number 6. Up through the snake and the climbing S's. He gets right up underneath, almost touching that Ford DSV Cosworth engine there in the back, and just about gets away with it going through. And again, he's just trying to pick his way through at the South Bend and make his way around the oak tree. Doesn't get the drive off the exit, and Laust does not look perturbed at all.
No, looking at the 3 guys now, I'm just sitting with Uwe myself, just watching the way they come out at the oak tree turn. It's so tough to get on the power there. Hard on the brakes now as they go into the left hand over the brow of the hill. Another apex that's really hard to touch. Laust misses it by a mile, and that's gotta hurt him down to the front straight. The guy on the move looks like Uwe behind these guys now. I'm just gonna watch as he goes around the right hand. A nice chunk of curb for all these guys, and onto the front straight. This is, as they go over the finishing line, this is actually a corner in the 49. You can take it flat, but you really have to watch your line. If you just miss it by a smidge, you're off on the left-hand side.
Mick, let's talk wind for a second, because it's gusting in south-southwest between 10 and 17 kilometers an hour. Will that be playing havoc with these drivers and their braking markers here today?
Yeah, if it's gusty, I think it will. It's not something that guys really notice in the car, just because of the nature of the car. There's no downforce, but yeah, you can get caught out by it and not know what happened. So yeah, it might be a case that we see some of that.
Yeah, so that might be something to keep in mind. Just note that we do have 4 drivers then a lap down at this point. Will Lamb, Glenn Becker, Sandeep Banerjee's race is over. And there was a massive pile-up actually there, and it involved Temi Trommesauer as well, I do believe. So John Olsen, I think, was caught up in it. So there was a big pile-up going through at the roller coaster hog pen section. And I think Glenn Becker found himself in the wrong place, but still they challenge up the oak tree. Lap 5 of 19, already a quarter of the race then will be score complete at the end of this lap. And for Bill Tyler, he will be in a very scary position. But here's the driver with the most experience, you'd say, here in this field, Hervé Trengaret. He loves anything classics on iRacing, Mick, and he is certainly searching to try and find at least 3 positions here today and just slowly find and pick apart one at a time the drivers in front of him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Uwe knows his way around any track, don't he, Jake? And as you say, yeah, classics legend. Back onto the front straight now. This is all throttle control now, getting down to the front straight. And like I say, this is flat out, but just watch Uwe's line. He won't be able to run down the left-hand side of the track at all. If he wanted to, you have to absolutely hit that apex and just see how good he is on the brakes. Uwe's always been really strong on the brakes. He brakes lightly, he doesn't brake too heavy in the car. And what that does is that gives you a really nice grip on the turning. You can see him really hugging the right-hand side as he goes through there. Nice and smooth on the steering. Look, just little tiny inputs. Really tough corner to get around. Braking and downshift to second gear. Stay in second gear. Nice overhead shot now. Laust Olsen's paint really sticks out, doesn't it? Sticks out a mile, doesn't it?
It's yellow, and it's very, very similar to the Swedish flag. So absolutely, you do realise it. They Trengrade, your championship leader, by 30 points at this moment in the F1 standings. So he's certainly doing well, but he's trying to chase down and stop Laust Olsen, of all people, from gaining too much an advantage. 2 positions just in front, and Olsen looking at Bill Tyler, thinking second position would be really nice right about now. On the brakes, trying to get as much. That's a very aggressive line taken there by Bill Tyler. And you just wound at the same point as me.
Yeah, I can believe though. Do you know what? That's so easy to do as well. You know, you just miss that brake marker. It's actually the number 3, if you want to know, folks at home. But if you miss that by a smidge, then you're going to go run wide all the way around that oak tree, and that's the result. Yeah, Bill was on the limit there for sure.
And the thing to remember is that it's not a meter board that you have there. That's a yardage board, which makes your brake markers at American-style circuits, Mick, a lot different from European-style circuits where you get 100 meters, 50 meters, and so on to reach your brake point.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, the car just literally floats over that curb on the way to the tree, on the way to Oak Tree Turn. It just literally feels like the car's floating, and you're just sort of hanging on for life, you know, around that corner. And if you do get it wrong, you know you've got it wrong early, and 9 times out of 10 you're into those tyres on the left-hand side.
Absolutely. So Harrison in 4th position, looking to get past Laust Olsen. This for 3rd position at this point in time. He's got the number 31 on his car. The numbers do have a significance here in iRacing. It indicates what your I rating is compared to the rest of the field, and he's got the 31st highest I rating of anybody here. And when you consider that in this race today, we have got ourselves a 32 car field, he has the 2nd lowest I rating of anybody here. It is currently 1,299. I expect if he finishes here in 4th position, he's gaining about 300.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. As I say, I just watched him at Motorsport put up the front row of the grid in practice in qualifying on the Thursday race. Just touches the dust on the left-hand side as he comes out Oak Tree. Uwe's looking pretty tasty now. I'm not sure if Uwe's going to go for a late dive. I don't know if it will be a late dive. I think he's going to be able to move out the way. Yeah, he's going to go for the left-hand side. So nice, late on the brakes there for So. Is he going to get it rolled up? He just about does. Laust sees it and tries to move offline. I've done that a few times. You think the car's going to plough into you from behind, and you just, where can I put the car so he misses? I think that was in Laust's mind there.
I think Laust as well was realising that So Harrison is so good on the brakes, and that's going to be something that Uwe's going to have to deal with, because he's stuck in a drafting train right now. Each car has the ability to take the advantage of the car in front, and because of that, they're all going to be very similar as they reach the brakes for the opening corner once again. Lap 8 here of 19, and not going to find that move just yet, so there's going to still be some more patience out there. I do want to keep an eye out, though, on a couple back ones a little bit further back. Miro Frajki is up into 6th position, has Richard Watson for company just behind in 7th. Now, these two have been very quiet about their race, but both drivers up 2 spots so far.
Yeah, Mirazli's at good pace this week. I watched him a few times in practice. So, yeah, interesting to see how he does today. As you say, it looks like a bit of a stalemate going down the under the bridge now. Just watch the cars as they hit this. You want to take a little bit of this curb on the left, a massive chunk on the right, get the car in the air, literally, and get it wound up for the left-hander now. And then once you've got through this left-hander, all you're thinking about is the brake marker for the tree, because as we've said already, Jake, this is so tough getting the car woed up, get it turned in. And because you've just been on the brakes so hard getting down into there, the car just doesn't want to turn. Yes, folks, you can melt the tyres on a Lotus 49, and that's what happens there every lap.
Mikko Makala in 27th position has just set the fastest lap of the race, which actually shows quite a bit about this series, is that you could be all the way down in 27th and have the fastest lap, as everyone still looks to try and wind themselves in second, third, fourth and fifth. Gap to the leader now, 8.3 seconds out in front, and it is a canter at this point behind number one. Yuan Lin has just made the pass on Yuri Vikström for position. That one for 11th, and we're going to catch this on the GSRC replay here, Mick.
Yeah, just having a look now. Look at the trainer cars as they go down the straight. Just a little note, top speed down here is about 185 mile an hour in this car. Nice move down the inside into the left, the slow left, and then the right-hander. Nice move. Didn't have to worry about the apex there. Just a quick note, I was watching Robert Plumley just literally 180'd it, just going into the oak tree, and had to sit there because there was cars in his way, cars moving out of the way from him, and it took him an age to get going again.
Shame for the world of Kinducci. He knows how much he tries with these classic machines. He's been around the service for a very long time, and a very popular figure is Rob Plumley, as it's still now So Harrison looking every which way, going through the South Bend for an opportunity. He's going to have to go the long way around. It's covered off on the inside by Laust Olsen, and they are encroaching on lap traffic. Robert Reynolds is going to get out of the way of all of these four, and I wouldn't want to be lap traffic here, because look at these four. Here comes Hervé. He's going to go to the outside, and now it's about who's got the draft, and Hervé's going to try and pinch it away. They almost rub against tyres, and So Harrison might be in trouble here. 3 wide. They go on the straight, and Harrison later on the brakes. Can he get it slowed up? He's locked it up, and he's going to go straight on.
Oh, it was so late on the brakes there, wasn't he? I'd done it myself yesterday in the Leicester race, but yeah, it all started from a wobble coming out the oak tree, and yeah, just hit the dust there on the exit curb, and that was it. All that Uwe needed was, you know, a nice clean run, and that's what he got. It was done and dusted long before the corner, wasn't it?
It's always going to be very difficult when you've got 2 blocks of Brie for brakes, 3 wide with the lap traffic. He was desperate to stay ahead, was So Harrison. Just a little bit out of line, trying to get it slowed up. 2 tyres in the grass at the most critical point of braking, had it all full cross, trying to make sure it was stopped. But So Harrison, there's no shame in that in terms of holding on. He still has 5th position. The only difference he has is that he's now down by 2.5 seconds on this group, and he's got work to do to catch it back up. Mid-pack, though, my word, look at how close this mid-pack is. It all stacks up to Yuan Lin, Vikström Quellin, Gary Hosder, and Janne Lehmann, a 5-car train as they go through the left hook and the subsequent right hook that follows.
Yeah, and they just had to pass Robert Reynolds in a really difficult spot. Looks like they all got round. Yeah, massive, huge battle here now. So tough to get this car over these fast turns, look, Jake. And like I say, you can just see a straight shot there. We could almost see him get in the air then over the curbs. Really tough to do. Guys are on the limit as always every week. No one's hanging around here. No one's waiting for anything to happen later on in the race. These guys are fighting for everything.
Exactly. They know that this is a shorter style race, just the 19 laps. They've already done 10 of them, so they can't really sit down and afford too much as they join Madison Avenue then for this 10th time. And this very, very aggressive straight, they climb and crest, and this is where they start to drop now. This is where you have to be careful on the brakes, because you've got this small rise that leads to a dramatic drop of this right-hander, and down the hill through the roller coaster and the hog pen. You're pretty much clinging on, especially in a machine like this.
Yeah, holding on for grim death, basically. We got a side-by-side. Is that Laust and Uwe? Yeah, into turn 1, I think this is. So, yeah, Uwe's got it done nicely there. Don't know
No,
what
he hasn't.
there. No, he hasn't, has he?
Oh,
No.
he's lucky.
Yeah,
He's lucky
got nice run on the outside there.
Yeah, he's lucky because it was all about Laust Olsen, who was really trying to pivot back to get to that inside, to get the up and under, but it was just covered enough by Trengarade, who left a car's width but not enough for Laust Olsen to be aggressive. And this has been a really strong middle of the race here from Hervé Trengarade. Down 2 places on Laust Olsen about 3 laps ago, and now finds himself gaining on him in terms of the championship picture.
Yeah, and worth noting again, Bill Tyler stuck there in 2nd place. And like I say to you, I haven't seen him at all in practice. He's just literally shown up, and he's had great pace. If he can finish in 2nd, I can't wait to hear his interview, because I really want to find out where this has come from today.
Sebastian Tixier out in front on his own, lives in Singapore, Australian descent. And here is someone who is absolutely hoping that this is going to be his first win. Knock wood, he's got himself 10 seconds, so barring an almighty mistake, this one is going to be all about him just finding a consistent run through to the finish. Currently running in the low 146s. 3-car scrap then goes on as it's Gary Quellin looking to the inside of Jiri Wikström out there then. And Wikström leaves in the room going through on the inside. There is that small kink left that does, Mick, just give that advantage to the outside ever so slightly. Wikström, not wanting to risk the race there on lap 11, decides, you know what, Gary, you can have that position, and now he's in a Gary sandwich.
Yeah, that's true. It's tough, really tough to get the power down out of those corners there, especially, as I said a few times now, you can melt the tyres on the 49, and that braking zone on the end of the straight, and then trying to get it wound up and just over that little left-hander and then deep into the right-hander where it drops down, your tyres are toast. The front wheels, they just had it, and you've really got to take it easy in 3rd gear now. Just take it easy down that corner, and yeah, nice move there. Oh, just watching Jiri Wikström then really crossed up there behind these guys.
Yeah, Jiri is really trying to run through, and he's in danger of falling backwards to Gary Ho, who is in 14th position. So Wikström up 2 spots and looking really good. But how difficult is it to play with power in this machine, Mick? Because, of course, you're always trying to rely on putting as much down, but you've got those massive rear tyres that are there, which really help. So torque must be absolutely massive in this machine.
Well, the thing is, you've got to have the right gear set, Jake. You really got to work on your gears during the week in your setup. And if you get them wrong, you can really lose some speed out of this car. It's really tough to do. But, yeah, it's a really peaky engine, like the old 4-valve per cylinder engines always were back then. And, yeah, they get all the power right at the top end, and they really love to be screamed. But, yeah, nowadays the car is a little bit easier to get the power down, but it does like to snap. So... And the guys are always pushing the limits in this series, so you've got really scary differentials in this car now, especially Seb and Uwe and some of the top guys are really running the limits on the diff, so it's all eggshell stuff on the throttle.
Here is Hervé Trengarade, the Norwegian, searching for a way past car number 4, Bill Tyler from Club New York, not able to find a move just yet here at the start of lap 13, but he is in the wheelhouse, searching for the right move, and he's going to be patient about this. Doesn't have that urgency to do that straight away. He can pick and choose the moment. He's afforded himself the time here in this scrap per second.
Say it every week, Jake. Uwe does not like leading, and although this isn't for the lead over the whole race, doesn't really like leading any battles. So going to be interesting to see if he wants to go for this, if he can. Chunk of curve over the right-hander there. Uwe gets 4 wheels in the air just. And, oh, we're going to Gary for replay.
Yeah, he's just gone straight on, locked up the inside front, missed the braking point by about 25 metres, and as such, takes a trip through the grass at turn 1. And turn 1, going wide at turn 1, is doubly painful here, Mick, because it's off camber when you get off of the circuit, so effectively you're dropping down into a ditch.
Yeah, and you're used to being, you know, obviously at racing speed. So anytime you're on the grass, it just feels like you're crawling, you know, to try and get back. And your right foot just wants to get back on it.
Hervé Trengarade down the inside, heading towards that all-important section of road, the prime place to get it done, and moves up into second. An important overtake in the context of this championship, with Trengarade now jumping up into second position. The best he can do is damage limitation to Sebastian Tixier, and he has just got stronger and stronger as this race has got on here, Mick.
Yeah, I was just watching that myself from Bill's point of view. Looked like they both got a pretty decent exit out the oak tree, and just Uwe got a nice toe there, didn't he? And just straight down the left-hand side. So nice move. See what Bill can do to catch up and keep up with him.
Oh, that's Brad Cathcart who's in trouble then, and finding himself pointing in the wrong direction out on circuit. So let's see what's happened to him out there. Brad, Club Oz NZ, they'll be dealing with time zones and troubles there, and it's just coming through a very simple section of track, and just the back end just steps out under braking. It's very easy to do when you're not confident in the brake balance.
Yeah, it's very easy to do when you measure the front wheels on the line of the track. You really have to learn that and get it down to a fine art, because obviously the rear wheels are a little bit wider, and that was what happened there. You just see that rear going onto the grass, and that's all that's going to happen. Oh, we've had someone else off. That's Gary Ho.
Yep, so Gary then back into 16th position, so nobody holding on to that top 15 with too much fun. Let's take another look at this one then. This is how quickly you can go from hero to zero, and he just misses the apex initially, gathers it up nicely going through, and then it's that left hook that he's on the wrong side of the road, carries too much speed to compensate, and then he does very well actually not to rejoin the circuit there at the right hook.
Yeah, I think that was mirror watching, don't you, Jake? I think he was all about looking what was behind.
It can very easily happen, and we have seen that time and again. So drivers having to be a little bit more cautious out there. And, well, Gary's just one of the drivers who has found out what makes VIR such a difficult place to go out here and race. And off the road goes Marcel Pfister from 8th position. Marcel Pfister, and that's a really weird place to have an off.
Yeah, it's all happening now, isn't it? I wouldn't mind seeing that one again, to be honest with you. That's, yeah, like you say, Jake, that is a really weird place to go off.
And it looks like it's just locked. It's compression locked down the hill, going through the right and then the left. You look for a gear, and it might be that he's found the wrong gear or something, because he goes down the hill looking for it, and bang,
oh, yeah,
there it goes.
Yeah, you nailed it. That's definitely a downshift, I think. Yeah.
That is just how simply it can go wrong. And just searching to try and find the right place. Round it goes, and Marcel Pfister finds himself back in 11th, which means Yuanji Lin in this race, who's just ahead of him now, has gone from 21st to 10th in this one, a gain of 11, which shows just how quick he has been in this race.
Yeah, he's putting it down now. I was just sorry. I just want to take us. I just wanted to show Yuri Geisen. He was all over the back of Gary Quellin then for a second. Looks like they've spread out a bit, but yeah, this is turning out to be a good battle for, looks like 12th spot.
Yeah, Gary Quellin is trying to move forward. Jiri Vikström now is going to be looking behind. Quellin started the race in 10th position overall. Down 3. He's had just the one mistake so far today in this race, and is certainly looking to bring this back with 5 laps to go. It will be 4 when Tixier crosses the line and starts that next section, but on the power, look how much he can gain. Vikström is up at 290, over at 300 kilometers an hour goes Gary Quellin on the brakes. That's nearly 200 miles an hour in a car that's pretty much looking like an old shoe.
Yeah, I didn't think that was on, because the way Gary came out the oak tree, he really lost the back end just coming out. And you see it all the time, you know, you think you're nice and close and you just want to put that extra bit of power down and the back goes. But yeah, nicely done there from Gary.
A lovely move and some brilliant battling. And take a look at Yuri Geisen's car. It looks absolutely fantastic. The pink, or the 2 different shades of pink, actually. And then you got the purple that's there as well. Looks absolutely fantastic. With the pink helmet, you can't miss him out on track. And sometimes it's about looking the part as well as driving the part.
Well, that's just typical Yuri, ain't it? Go look, watch his Audi GTO as well later on. I'm pretty sure it looks pretty much the same.
I'm sure we're going to see how good Yuri Geisen is a little bit later on. And it has been an issue for Laust Olsen, who was on the back of the group, and suddenly he's dropped back 3 seconds. So it looks like he had an off heading towards the final corner on that last lap. So Laust Olsen all of a sudden finds a mistake, and that might bring So Harrison with a little bit of a respite here in this one. He might sense that I've got a chance here.
Yeah, Laust had another off on the way up to the tree, and yeah, really struggling to get the car turned in. I probably think he was a good 100% on that brake pedal, trying to get the thing wound up. And yeah, he definitely on the limit there. Just couldn't hold it in. Yeah,
too much curb, it looked like. We'll take a look then from a onboard perspective then running through down the hill towards that hog pen. And I wonder whether it's just too much curb on that inside. Yeah, he gets out of position. He hits the curb all wrong. And you really need to be wider into that section of track. And it's as simple as just dropped a little bit through that penultimate corner, which led to the hog pen. And essentially, once you're going down the hill, you're there for the ride. You're out of position. So Harrison still has a chance at 4th position here in this race.
Yeah, excellent drive by So Harrison. Again, F2 driver, not F1, F2.
Says all you need to know. And down here with the 2nd lowest iRating in this field is up in 5th position. And Laust Olsen knows how close So Harrison likes to drive behind him. And this is going to be concerning because he takes a very aggressive line initially in, and that's going to put him on the wrong side of the road. He is very much slowly making mistake after mistake, and it brings So Harrison close through the snake. And they'll head to the climbing S's now, and this is going to be crucial. Where do you make the move? He looks left, he looks right, he has to lift, and there's traffic in front in the form of Robert Reynolds again. Oh, hello.
Wow. God, I couldn't believe that they didn't touch there. Absolutely on the limit. Oh, and again, they're so close. So Harrison is really pushing this as hard as he can. Lausted must be having a nightmare of a race today. That's what he says after this one, but he's really at it today.
So Harrison knows exactly how long his car is. I'll say that much right now. He's got great depth perception out there as he tries to go through. Behind that, Richard Watson has just got through on Miro Frajki, who makes a mistake at the oak tree trying to pass the lap traffic. So a freebie there for Richard Watson in the dying embers.
Yeah, I'm just watching that myself. Looked like he was trying to get past. Yeah, as you say.
Through. So let's take a look at what happens here. So he gets round the traffic here to Frajki, and we can stay on replay because the overtake happens. Wide he goes, and that's as simple as how easy Watson can go through. But here's So Harrison looking to make the move, and he'd been showing, I am quicker, I'm quicker, I'm quicker for the last half a lap. And this is going to have to be brave in terms of... Look how far back he is as he tries to make this move. He's later on the brakes. He looks for it on the inside. The back end steps out there for Laust Olsen. And thank you very much. But Olsen, if we can come back to live, they're too wide. They're coming back at it then as they go through NASCAR bend, looking towards this left-hander. Olsen's not giving this one up. But So Harrison, Rutgers Laust!
Oh, he spun it. That was an unbelievable little battle there, side by side for the left-hander. I didn't think that was going to end nice, but yeah, how can you go too wide through there, Jake?
Oh, I see the frustration. Head bobs and everything. He is so frustrated with himself. He knows how much that means in terms of the championship picture, and he's now back in 9th place behind David Rossi.
Yeah, I've never seen that from Laust. He's normally as calm as you like. It's always a little joke we have watching him, see if we can see those lips pucker up, but man, he's having a bad one today from that. Not good, mate. It's such a horrible feeling as we watch Seb look smooth as you like. Just watching the steering inputs now from Seb, you can just see, look, as the car comes towards you, the car's so smooth. He's actually taking this pretty easy, Jake. I normally watch Seb quite a lot. Watched him this morning. He was absolutely on the limit. I don't know if we can get a nice onboard, see if we can see his steering inputs there. And as we just ride down to turn 1, just watch the inputs, Jake, on the entry to turn 1 now. Normally you see a lot of counter steering from Seb. He's normally really pushing it, but look how smooth it is. He's just completely under the limit and on top of this car today.
Alton, Virginia, a track which for a long time found itself unused and had to be revitalized at the turn of millennium. This is a circuit where Sebastian Tixier is proving that he is the master of here today. He has a quarter-minute's lead over Hervé Trengrade. How often do you say that in a series like this as he runs through the snake as calm as you like here, Mick? This has been a comfortable drive from him out there. Built the gap early. He was 2 seconds clear after 2 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. He's just driven brilliantly today. Don't want to jinx him. Not jinx him, rather. But yeah, staying away from the curb. Stays away from the curb on the right-hand side. Look, he's already looking at that back marker ahead, wondering if he's going to catch him. Stay away from the curb on the left. Don't take too much out of the oak tree curb. And steer clear of the one on the left on the exit. Yeah, nice and calm. Job done.
Job done. He's now just got to navigate the final section of this track as he crests up on Madison Avenue for the final time here at VIR, running towards the roller coaster and the hog pen. This has been an all-important race for a driver who has been knocking on the door of a victory time and again, hasn't been able to find it, has had the pace time and again to find a victory. And well, now down the hill, just one corner to go through the hog pen. Your time has called, Sebastian Tixier. You are a winner here in Lotus 49, and he takes a win in the Grand Prix Legend Series, and he does so at a canter.
Yeah, brilliant drive from Seb. Well done, mate. Axe, I'm so happy for him to finally finish a broadcast race and get the win. Nice finish from Uwe. Good battle in today's from Uwe. And my driver today, Bill Tyler, comes from nowhere to finish on the podium.
I'd say second position to finish on the podium is somewhere in my book, but so Harrison will finish fourth. Harashki is going to get by Watson here towards the line. So what's happened here to Richard Watson? Has he run out of fuel? Has he got his fuel numbers wrong over the line? He's just lost it on the drive.
Yeah, I'm just looking now. Some of the guys are asking what happened as well. I'm just going to watch it on board and see what happened there.
It just looked like he had nothing off the exit. There was a puff of smoke. He's done okay. It looked like he missed a shift.
Just watching. He lost it. Yeah, he went on to the left-hand side of the tree. He actually went on the mud there. He was lucky he made it.
He was, because just behind him was Neil Kemp, who very nearly stole it. He was about 700ths behind in terms of getting to where it was needed. But what an incredible performance we've seen here today from a number of drivers coming over the line here. But there have been some great drives up and down the order, and it's still going on here with the likes of Robert Plumley holding a massive train behind. Tobias Hanvey is there. Michael Grissinger is also in this one, as well as the lap down Brad Cathcart. So Plumley will come over the line. He will want that half spin back, but as the final drivers then bring themselves over to the checkered flag, there is a very, very happy Sebastian Tixier. Every reason to be celebrating on that grand infield section, and what a way for number 2 to have that result. We're going to step aside for just one moment with the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back with post-race coverage and the results after this. It was a very dominant display at the front, but the championship took a dramatic turn once again, and some amazing results were able to be put onto drivers today here at VIR, the Virginia International Raceway. Sebastian Tixier, 33 minutes, 44 seconds. It was as plain as saying your ABCs. He was clear by 13 seconds in the end. He really did lift off towards the end of the race there as he beat Hervé Trengrade by 12.9 seconds over the line. Bill Tyler would start second and finish third in what was a really strong showing by him today. So Harrison able to outlast Laust Olsen in the race for fourth position. He starts exactly where he finishes. Not bad for a driver who's just a shade under 1300 iRating. Miro Hrashki would finish fifth after Richard Watson would run wide in the final corner and drop that position to him. Neil Kemp unable to take advantage of that in seventh. David Rossi would finish eighth with Laust Olsen in ninth. And with a spin to go along with that 10th place was Marcel Pfister here, Mick.
Yeah, my screen is totally froze, so why don't you take it, Jake, for me, please?
Why don't I, indeed? Yuan Jilin, then number one, up 10 places from the start to the end of this race, finishes off in 11th. Gary Quellin recovering back to 12th position. Jiri Vikström would finish 13th ahead of Yuri Geisen, with Gary Ho in 15th position. John Olsen will have his computer to thank as well. He's got the same problem you have, Mick, and that's why he was able to only finish in 16th position, with Janne Lehmann in 17th. Nolan Smith, Marco Antonio Lopez in 19th position, and Miko Makala with the fastest lap of the race overall would round out the top 20. Paul Wilson would finish 21st ahead of the slew of cars behind: Robert Plumley, Tobias Hanvey, Michael Grissinger, and Emmanuel Pereira. The last finisher on the lead lap being Andrew Eng. Brad Cathcart and Will Lamb would both finish a lap down. Robert Reynolds would be 2 laps down, and the retirees from the race would include Glenn Becker, who did manage to get going but 6 laps down, and then you have Sandeep Banerjee and Terry Trommerschauer, who has the best name in the field by my view. Trommerschauer, that's a great name, but the last position is all that could be mustered there. We're going to have the chance, though, to chat with our race winner, Sebastian Tixier, here from this VIR circuit. And Sebastian, a long time coming, this one. You couldn't have asked for a better way to win this one. That was a canter.
I won. I wanted to try to do a Mickey impersonation. When you say I spun, I won.
What happened, Seb? I won. But talk about that race, because it looked like you and the car were absolutely there together as one. You had a wonderful drive out there, and it looked like by the time you were 2.5 seconds clear after 2 laps, no one was really going to bother you or touch you for the rest of that race.
Well, thanks to Mick, recently I managed to get the setup the way I want it to be with the shock absorbers. And there, it's a track I always do well, especially in the V8 supercars usually. So even in this car, which also is difficult to drive, I don't know, it's a track I love. I can just push all the way. So yeah, pole position, and then I see Bill had some trouble in the start, and then I saw that after 2 laps I got 2.5 seconds, so I stopped to push fully, like 99%, and then the 2 last lap I was just cruising. So yeah, feel weird.
So Gary Quellin has troubles. Laust Olsen has troubles behind you. You now move up to second in the championship. You close the gap to Hervé, and you've got Rudskogen coming up next week. How are you feeling about going to the brand new iRacing circuit?
Well, it's brand new, and I think I did at least 0 lap on it. I think I forgot to download it. So I have to practice a lot for this one.
Well, practice aplenty. We'll let you get straight onto it. Sebastian Tixier, your race winner here from VIR. What an incredible performance. Laust Olsen is here wanting to have a conversation. He stood by with the shock whisperer, Mick Claridge.
Hi, Laust. Listen, mate, great to see you in the booth. That was a tough one, wasn't it? First of all, before we get into the race, do you have you Any idea who So Harrison was before this race?
He's raced with us several times this season, I think. I've seen him before, but he was quite fast this week.
Yeah, I noted on the broadcast he's been very quick in a couple of races, not so much pace in another races. So I just wondered if you knew about this guy. So just talk about this battle. I mean, so many things to talk about with that fight. It looked great from what we was watching. We watched a lot of it, to be honest with you, obviously, and just give us an insight, mate.
Yeah, it was kind of a missed opportunity, I think, for me. But great race. I just wasn't able to get in a position to really challenge Bill. He doesn't make many mistakes. And then I in the end had to put two wheels on the grass, and it all went downwards from there. But up until then, it was great fun and a good battle.
Well, I'm not going to tell you why I'm asking you this question, but do you think you're like an emotional racer?
I think when when I get when I start making mistakes, I think I get quite emotional. And
yeah, we'd never guess, mate. We'd never guess. Yeah.
So and also if I get pressured from others, I can also get start making mistakes. So it's difficult to keep those all those thoughts under control.
Yeah, we'll just be safe in the knowledge, mate. You're not the only one. Listen, Jake's going to tell you the name of the next track because I can't say it.
We're heading to Rudskogen.
How do you feel about Rudskogen?
Norway. I never tried it, so it's gonna be fun to try. I know it's in Norwegian, Norway. But that'll be fun. New track for all of us, I guess. So we'll see.
Yeah, cool, great stuff, mate. Anyone you want to thank today?
The community in general, and I think and you guys for the great broadcast as always. Looking forward to watch it back in a minute. So. Anybody care to join, they should join us in the Sunday drive. We always get together, some of us who have raced, and watch it back together. So that's great fun.
Yeah, I should be there with you, mate. Okay, listen, mate, thanks for coming in, and good luck next week.
Thanks. See you.
I think that's it, isn't it, Jake? Have we got anyone else?
It looks like that's everyone then for us. So I believe we can finally call that as a very successful race in the books and bring the curtains down for what was an incredible piece of racing that we've had here today. I want to give a massive thank you to everyone who's been getting it done behind the scenes, as well as those who are up there. Those are all of the various bits of equipment that we use, and of course the music, fantastic music by June Lalonde. You can catch her stuff on Bandcamp, and make sure that you support someone who's been incredible in supporting the GSRC. Thanks as well to the crew today here, from Joe, from Mick, and of course from Dougie as well. Make sure to check them out on social media. You can like, share and subscribe on YouTube as well. You will not miss a moment with GSRC. And if you look up on your screen, you've got all sorts of races that are coming up next time we are here. And up next, we're going to have ourselves some action with M-Tech, 1 p.m. Eastern, Road Atlanta. Make sure you check that out because we've got 6-hour enduro coming up on the horizon. Next time out, we'll be at the Red Forest Motor Centre, otherwise known as Rudskogen. Make sure you check that out. Same time, same place, 1 week later, October 22nd, the time and place. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.